In 2019, the infamous all-female team Victus Esports lost 28 straight matches of professional League of Legends.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
However, despite everything, including that one game where they lost 52-2, they never once surrendered. Though that was most likely because they were told that surrendering was against the rules, and no matter how difficult things get, do not surrender. But once upon a time, surrendering was actually an option.
See that replay.
Oh, surrender, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there you have it.
And that's actually not the only rule that has gone from being allowed to now something that can get players fined thousands of dollars.
Honestly, Call Nash held on with a lead about this big. What?
But before we get into that, this video is sponsored by Opera GX. Today, League of Legends is fully integrated with the Opera GX browsing experience within the Riot corner, allowing you to keep up with everything League and League esports related all in one place. Using any of the League of Legends GX mods gives you access to the Riot corner. This also includes access to limited time drops. In the past, Opera GX has given away thousands of Masterwork chest and key sets to people just like you for installing and using one of the official Riot mods. These are custom themes featuring champions that include custom backgrounds and sound effects throughout your browser. At the moment, there's mods for Lee Sin, Cassante, Renata, and Renekton. Look out for special banners in the GX corner, follow the instructions, and done. You are now the proud owner of a brand new skin. Hopefully it's not green Malphite. So if you're ready to make the jump to Opera GX, use the first link in the description to improve your browsing experience. And by using that link, the League of Legends mods will already be pre-installed. Thank you to Opera GX for sponsoring today's video. Getting things started, in 2018, during a match between H2K Gaming and Rocat, H2K chose to surrender the game before the Nexus could be destroyed.
And at this point, they're back in base, they're all dead right now! Where the hell is his base? That's the triple kill, that's the surrender!
To be fair, this wasn't very exciting as the game was technically seconds away from ending. However, this would be the last time a team surrendered in a professional match. Despite the fact that to this day, surrendering is still detailed in the official rulebooks. The rules for Worlds 2024 specifically state surrendering as one of the 4 ways that a game can be concluded. In fact, 2 out of the 4 methods are literally by surrendering. But as I've mentioned in a previous video, it's clear that players are now told by their managers and coaches that they're not actually allowed to surrender. Likely not only for in-game reasons, but also because if you surrender games, the matches are shorter, and that gives less time for Riot to promote their sponsors. For example, this is what a surrender looks like in 2014. Teams losing 12-0, down 8k gold, and they decide they had enough.
They're just taking everything from SK. 12-0 in kills. Not a single reply from SK Gaming. And it's a 20-minute surrender, ladies and gentlemen.
And this wasn't that much of a rare occurrence. Also in 2014, on the deciding game of the 2014 EU Spring Split Finals, the losing team instantly surrenders the moment it's clear that they're about to lose.
Soaz chasing in. This is going to feel bittersweet for Unrated, I'm afraid. His former teammates chase on to warm him, and that is going to be the surrender vote.
And not all of these surrenders are meaningless. In 2016, Fnatic surrendered a Game 3 against T1 during the finals of a major tournament. This was a best out of 3 match, and although it was looking real bad, you would generally want to see your team try to find a miracle and come back. But they decided it wasn't possible and surrendered.
And then Fnatic trying to run away, and we don't even want to see that replay.
No,
They just
surrender, ladies and gentlemen.
surrendered.
Well, there you have it.
I have never seen a League of Legends major international tournament end with a surrender vote before.
And you'll never see it happen again. And before moving on from this, what you'll also never see again is a professional player losing a pentakill over a surrender.
There's Uzi's triple, there's the quadra. Can it be back-to-back carry pentakill? Xiaohu sitting in there, they're going to try and cut him off, and Uzi, can he find him? Xiaohu all the way back down. Chiyoung's diving into the base, but it doesn't matter. They surrender, and Uzi, he's denied the pentakill.
Scumbag surrender stops the pentakill.
And what's actually crazy is that this happened twice.
They're all chasing him. They want this penta from XG. They continue it. No! They
give it to him! They denied the pentakill!
But okay, moving on from surrendering, these sort of unspoken rules are somewhat constant in major tournaments. For example, in solo queue, when a game is about to end and the Nexus is exploding, you'll see this pop up telling you that certain players have left the game. Well, in pro games, Riot doesn't like this and players are told not to do this. Despite the fact that again, there isn't really a clear description of that in the rulebook. Though I will admit I could be wrong, but I couldn't see any specific detail of that rule. There are, however, over 50 pages of rules, so maybe I missed it. But regardless of that, we know they're not allowed to disconnect from games early because multiple players have been fined for doing just that. In the LCS, the player Niles shared that he was fined $1,000 for leaving the game before the Nexus finished exploding, though it was literally almost over.
Get them both, we'll let Newbie live. Dignitas claim a...
And keeping on the subject of unspoken rules, there are rules against unsportsmanlike behavior in the context of intentionally dragging out a game. Although this has actually happened a handful of times, this 2014 European Challenger Series game is a perfect example. The team H2K Gaming is in their second game of a best out of 3 match, and they're winning with a gold lead of almost 20,000. For those unaware, that's a ridiculous amount. But instead of breaking down the turrets and destroying the Nexus, they took their time. At one point, instead of pushing to end, the ADC Kog'Maw goes on his own to kill the dragon. Unnecessary to do this at this point, but technically always a valuable objective, so it is what it is. However, he celebrates killing the dragon by flashing in place for no reason.
Well, Vid's chilling. He's going to defend as best he can. We had, honestly, Call Nash held on with a lead about this big.
What? Stop!
And moments later, their support Morgana begins to sell their items and buy full AD items.
I just want to point out AOD bought a Tiamat.
Yep.
So, I guess now that Darian's no longer in the LCS right now, so we had to take up the moniker of buying random things on random champions.
Some can argue this is a strategic decision, but I think he might be trolling. After some more goofing around, they eventually go back into their base and win the game.
Pretty well played by the team overall, making it longer than it needed to be.
And then a few days later, the people who oversee the esports business at Riot posted an article addressing this team for their behavior and issued them a monetary fine. Riot stated, quote, "During a match on July 10, H2K Gaming exhibited unsportsmanlike behavior when they failed to play their best and promptly end the game. The prolonged and suspicious gameplay includes H2K players intentionally building ineffective items and wasting flash cooldowns while alone in their own territory." And with that, they were fined $300. Which is not a lot, but back then, semi-pro players were being paid in pennies and gaming merch, so this was kind of a big chunk of change. Ironically, this exact same thing happened to Vayvictus Esports, the team we mentioned at the start. 2 different teams got warned for dragging out games when playing with Vayvictus, this being Team Rox and Vega Squadron. Riot specifically said in a statement, warnings were issued to the Rox and Vega Squadron organizations, which means that their punishment will be more severe if there are repeated infractions. We preventively warn other organizations that any discriminative behavior is unacceptable and will be penalized by the administration. Vega Squadron are the ones that famously recorded that 52-2 game. And if you watch it at all, they were definitely intentionally dragging out the game to get as many kills as possible. At one point, 2 players have a full stacked Magi's and they're nowhere close to finishing the match. This would go on until 32 minutes when they finally destroyed the Nexus with a final score of 52-2 and a 35,000 gold lead. But still, nothing will compare to the time a team playing against Vayvictus received a behavior warning for banning only support champions against the all-female team. Again, a thing that is not against the rules. But of course, Riot viewed it as some sort of sexism instead of a funny meme, and they gave them a warning. But with that, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care.
with a lead about this big.
What?